Now, in the wake of the Air India crash, which killed 260 people last month, there has been renewed debate over cockpit video recorders to help investigators. Let's get more by speaking to Image Matrix tech editor and pilot, Djuro Sen. Djuro, I've learned something new about you this morning already. Any reason why we don't have cameras in the cockpit?
Good morning to you, Alex. Do a few extra things other than just tech, but yes, I'm a 172 pilot, very small plane, but I love aviation, and there is absolutely no technical reason why we do not have cameras recording in the cockpit. And if you look at this investigation, we got some information that said that the fuel switches were turned to the off position from run to off to cut off, and that had to be done by a person. There's a very remote chance that it could have been an electrical blip or a bit of a phantom message from the system that's telling the investigators that it was turned off, but that's very remote and unlikely. So it's possible it had to be one of the people on board, and we needed cameras like this, which is in an Australian investigation recently where a helicopter crashed off the coast near Newcastle, and they were able to produce this animation from it. So I'm not showing you any of the vision from the chopper itself, but this is an animation from it. But the real vision from the camera in the cockpit or in the aircraft itself gave these investigators an absolute proof why that chopper crashed. So if you go back to the crash in India, if there was a camera inside the cockpit, we would know if and who the pilot was that lifted the switches to turn off the fuel to starve the engines and therefore causing the crash. Preliminary data so far, but pilots are worried about privacy. However, you don't see the release of the audio generally for cockpit voice recorders, so there's no likelihood of the video going out either, and that stays with the investigation unit. So there's no reason why we can't have it. We need to have it because it's for the good of the travelling public and the good for airline safety.
Yeah, and of course aviation's still very safe despite the headlines that these occasional crashes do cause. But we know, any of us that have gone through airports recently, how many warnings you get about power banks. Why are they causing so much concern?
The reason is that lithium-ion batteries have a very high energy output or storage capability. If they short out, they have very hot and almost unstoppable fires. And we saw that happen recently as you see the vision of this campaign that's been run by the Australian government of this Korean plane that was burnt basically to the ground on the tarmac because of a power bank that sparked and burnt the plane down. So airlines are saying, some of them are saying you can't use them on board, you certainly can't pack them. In China, they won't even let you bring them on board if they don't have a certain certification, and that is the big issue. And we know we've had them around for a while, but what I'm showing you here, and I mentioned these on release, this laser LFP battery, so it's a type of lithium-ion battery, but it's called a lithium-ion phosphate battery, is far safer than anything else on the market, and we should be producing more of these and getting us to fly with these things because they're far safer. You're seeing a traditional lithium-ion battery here be tested, being punctured, it explodes, but the LFP battery, which is used in larger batteries as well for power stations, you puncture it, Alex, and it doesn't explode. Like, it's there, the solution is there for us. So we need a transition. The problem is there's so many junky charges. The ACCC requested a recall of many the last couple of weeks. There's so many out there, we just don't know. We just don't know in the Australian market which is good and which is bad.
Yeah,
but
and the process of checking it all slows everything right down, and that's what everyone hates when they go through an airport. But thanks for pointing out that.
I'm hearing in China, and Alex, I'm hearing in China, like, you go through to the plane and then there's like stacks of these battery power banks being left at the check-in. So, yeah, you're right.
Djuro, very briefly before you go, what's going on with Elon Musk's X AI and Grok?
Look, Alex, I know you love X. Anyway, Grok is Elon's AI. And so he's released these companions, and I checked them out as I always do. And there's a bit of controversy. So there's two of them, and sorry, three all up, and there's more on the way. So there's Annie, the anime character, Bad Rudy, and Good Rudy. And I tried them all out. And the anime character seemed to be a bit flirty, but Rudy's is a good guy and a bad guy. So once you enter your age in, they went offline for a while, you can now interact with them at their full level. And I've got to say, I've never copped so much abuse from an AI in my life. It was actually really funny, but Bad Rudy is pretty bad, and he just gives you, it looks great, but he does give you a bit of a serve. The good guy, the good Rudy, is fantastic. The AI is really good, it works well, and I think he might be on a winner here. I'm not quite sure, but it's hilarious that only Elon and X would do this sort of stuff. It's different to any other AI.
Okay, Bad Rudy and Good Rudy and Good Djuro Sen. Thank you very much, as always, for your input.
Good, Alex.